Good morning. It is my pleasure to welcome each and every one of you to today's service of the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Lower Bucks. My name is Bill Appleton, and I'll be your lay leader this morning. Each week when we gather, we begin by ringing the bell. It calls us into this special time where we are here to share an experience that is centered on the proposition that each of us is inherently worthy, and each of us is capable of finding our own personal truth. We welcome all those on the journey of spiritual questioning, and we hope that the music you hear today inspires you, and the messages spoken will give you fuel for that journey. In recognition that this is time of spiritual reflection, let us respond to the words and music with reverence. Whether you join us in person at Penryn or on Zoom in our spiritual and special cyberspace, we're glad that you're here. The February Soul Matters theme is embodying resilience. I'm chuckling a little bit because, boy, that one has hit home very much this month. Embodying resistance is the practice of navigating adversity by integrating mental fortitude with physical awareness, movement, and mindfulness in order to recover and grow. It involves using techniques like breathing, yoga, and connecting the body to manage stress, build power, and to help regulate your emotions. Dr. Sandra Fees says that embodying resilience has to do with staying the course in the midst of pain, guided by a remembered radiance. It has to do with remembering what was good and beautiful and holding that memory in our heart while moving forward into the future. Angelic Ann Ray said, "The struggles we go through are necessary to make us strong enough to soar through life. No one is resilient alone at all times and in all situations. Resilience is a dynamic process in which we take turns being resilient for one another." And now I'd like to invite Roseanne up to light the chalice as I read our opening words. Did we?
Is it locked? Maybe that was it.
No, I think, there we go.
There it goes. There we go.
Woohoo! All right. Yeah, you have to be resilient, and this is just yet another example of that. Come to this time of worship, worn, weary, or wide awake. In this gathering, we acknowledge the presence of living, the tender ache of persisting through uncertainty, the courage of continuing when clarity is distant. Yet here we are, still breathing, still reaching, still becoming. Today, let us embody that resilience together, not as armor, but as the soft, stubborn practice of returning to ourselves, to one another, to the work of love. And again, that is by the Reverend Michelle Collins. Thank you. Now we shall have a musical prelude with our award-winning, incredibly talented super musician, Avi Wisnia.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure every time you're here. He'll begin the spiritual hour with a musical prelude. Today he has selected Go the Distance from Disney's Hercules.
So I know there are many ways we can practice and draw inspiration for resilience. Bill mentioned some of them, by breathing, by leaning on friends, and I listen to Disney songs. And for those of you that are familiar with a lot of the popular Disney movies, there's always a moment where our hero, heroine, main character needs to push through and start to go on their journey. And for today's theme of resilience, what immediately came to me was a song by Alan Menken, who wrote many of our famous Disney songs. From Hercules, this song, Go the Distance. I have often dreamed of a far-off place where a great warm welcome will be waiting for me, where the crowds will cheer when they see my face, and a voice keeps saying, this is where I'm meant to be. I'll be there someday. I can go the distance. I will find my way. If I can be strong, I know every mile will be worth my while. I would go most anywhere to feel like I belong. Down an unknown road to embrace my fate. Though the road may wander, it will lead me true. And 1,000 years would be worth the wait. It might take a lifetime, but I know I'll see it through, and I won't look back. I can go the distance and I'll stay on track. I won't accept defeat. It's an uphill slope, but I won't lose hope till I go the distance and my journey is complete. I am on my way. I can go the distance. I don't care how far. Somehow I'll be strong. I know every mile will be worth my while. I will go most anywhere to feel like I belong.
Thank you, Avi. You always pick the right song. Today's speaker is the Reverend Rosemarie Newberry. She has been working with UU-specific spiritual practices for almost 2 decades, sharing them with congregations as well at the Central Eastern Region Summer Institute. She reminds us that UUs can have spiritual practices of their own that come out of their theology, their faith and tradition. Reverend Newberry, now retired, has served congregations in New Jersey, New York, and Ohio. She has also served as a hospice chaplain and chaplain for adults with developmental disabilities. She lives in New Jersey by the shore. Her sermon title is Coping with Longevity, with this description: advances in medical science have created the possibility of significant increases in human longevity, like an average lifespan increasing to 150 years. Let's consider that this morning. What tools we might need to develop, since we are on the crest of a wave of a significant change in human evolution. And now, for the messages of all ages, I'd like to please welcome the Reverend Rosemarie Newberry with the message for all ages. Thank you.
Hello, hello, hello. I'm so glad to be back with you all. And I'm glad it was only rain this morning so that we could have I don't know how many people are on Zoom. Do you know how many people are on Zoom? The 5 folks on Zoom, hello. But to see so many smiling faces, I'm glad to be with you again. This morning's story is Miss Rumphius. And the story and the pictures are Barbara Cooney. This was published in 1982. So a little girl tells the story, and she talks about her great aunt Alice, who lived in a city by the sea when she was a little girl. From the front stoop, Alice could see the wharves and the bristling masts of tall ships. Many, many years ago, her grandfather had come to America on a large sailing ship. Now, Alice's grandfather worked in the shop at the bottom of the house, making figureheads for the prows of ships and also many other things, for Alice's grandfather was an artist. He painted pictures, too, of sailing ships and places across the sea. And when he was very busy, Alice helped him put in the skies on the paintings. In the evening, Alice sat on her grandfather's knee and listened to his stories of far-away places. When he had finished, Alice would say, "When I grow up, I too will go to faraway places. And when I grow old, I too will live beside the sea." "Well, this is very well, little Alice, but there is a third thing that you must do." "Well, what is that?" "Oh, you must do something to make the world more beautiful." "All right." But she did not know what that could be. But she continued to go to school and come home and do her homework, and pretty soon she was all grown up. So then Great Aunt Alice set out to do the 3 things that she had told her grandfather she was going to do. So she left the house, went to live in another city far away from the sea and the salt air. There she worked in a library, dusting books and keeping them from getting mixed up, and helping people find the ones that they wanted. And some of the books told her about faraway places. People called her Miss Rumphius then. Miss Rumphius eventually went to a real tropical island where people kept cockatoos and monkeys as pets. She walked along the long beaches, picking up beautiful shells. And one day she met the Baparaja, king of the fishing village. "Oh, you must be tired. Come into my house and rest." So Miss Rumphius went in and met the Baparaja's wife, and the Baparaja fetched her a green coconut, cut off the top so that Miss Rumphius could drink the beautiful coconut milk inside. And before she left, the Baparaja gave her a beautiful mother-of-pearl shell on which he had painted a bird of paradise, that's a flower, and the words, "You will always remain in my heart." And Miss Rumphius said, "You will too." So my great aunt, Miss Alice Rumphius, climbed tall mountains where the snow never melted. She went through jungles and across deserts. She saw lions playing and kangaroos jumping, and everywhere she made friends she would never forget. But finally, one day, getting off a camel, she hurt her back. "Oh, what a foolish thing to do," said Miss Rumphius. "Well, I have certainly seen faraway places. Maybe it's time for me to find my place by the sea." And from the porch of her new house, Miss Rumphius watched the sun come up, and she watched it cross the heavens and sparkle on water, and she saw it set in glory in the evening. She started a little garden among the rocks that surrounded her house, and she planted a few seeds in that stony ground. Miss Rumphius was almost perfectly happy. "But there's one more thing I have to do. I have to do something to make the world more beautiful." "But what? The world is pretty beautiful right now." The next spring, Miss Rumphius noticed that the flowers she had planted the summer before had come up and bloomed in spite of there being a stony ground, and she could see them from her bedroom window. They were blue and purple and rose-colored. "Lupins! I have always loved lupins the best. I wish I could plant more seeds this summer so that I could have still more flowers next year." But she wasn't feeling well, and she wasn't able. And after a hard winter, there came another spring, and Miss Rumphius was feeling better, and now she could take walks again. One afternoon, she started to go up and over the hill and where she had not been to for a long time. And there she said, "I don't believe my eyes." On the other side of the hill was a large patch of blue and purple and rose-colored lupins. "It was the wind. It was the wind that brought the seeds from my garden. And the birds, they must have helped." Then Miss Rumphius had a wonderful idea. She hurried home and got out her seed catalogs, and she ordered 5 bushels of lupin seeds. Now, all that summer, Miss Rumphius, with pockets full of seeds, wandered over fields and headlands, and she just scattered the seeds along the highways and the country lanes. She flung handfuls of them around the schoolhouse and the back of the church. She tossed them into hollers and along stone walls. Now people called her that crazy old lady. Then the following spring, there were lupins everywhere. Fields and hillsides were covered with blue and purple and rose-colored flowers. They bloomed along the highways and down the lanes. Bright patches lay around the schoolhouse and the back of the church, down in the hollers and along the stone walls. Miss Rumphius had done the third and most difficult of all.
Thank you for that wonderful story. All right, please join me in singing the children off to their RE class.
Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the love of us surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go.
Before we hear the sermon message from the Reverend Rosemarie Newberry titled Coping with Longevity, let's listen to a musical interlude titled Water is Wide.
can't get over, neither have I the wings to fly. Give me a boat that carries two, we both shall row, my friend and I. As I look out across the sea, a bright horizon beckons me, and I am called to do my best to be the most that I can be. The water is wide, I can't get over, neither have I the wings to fly. Give me a boat that carries two, we both shall row, my friend and I. That carries two, we both shall row, my friend and I.
So the topic of resilience set me off a little bit kind of in a weird path, but I felt because this topic of longevity was so interesting to me that you could think about how resilience gets modified if longevity increases. And I've been interested in the topic of human life expectancy for just a very long time. That interest probably comes from several of my personal life experiences. One of those was that my father died when I was 4, and he was the age of 48. And both his parents died at the age of 49. 6 months apart. So all 3 of these deaths were deemed to be caused by natural causes, no accidents, no violent acts. And I have for many decades wondered why. Why didn't they live to an average life expectancy? Or maybe my interest in life expectancy comes from an interest in science fiction that started in the early days of Star Trek and continues today. Anybody seen Starfleet Academy? I had to go back and see Discovery to fill in the gaps. So I vividly remember an episode of Star Trek, the original series, that aired when I was 11 years old. It was, for those who are Trekkies, it was season 3, episode 19. It featured a man named Flint who was born in Mesopotamia thousands of years ago, and he lived forever, adopting various historical identities such as Solomon, Alexander the Great, and Leonardo da Vinci. Now, that story left an imprint on me, left me with the question, what would life be like if we lived forever? And we have now come to a time in our human history where life expectancy has increased significantly in the last few decades and last century, and it's going to continue to increase. So let's review the data. In the 19th century, the global average life expectancy was roughly 28.5 to 30 years for most of that entire century. Now, the largest impact on that number was that infant mortality had infants dying, 30 to 40% of infants died before the age of 5. So if you survived childhood, then life expectancy was estimated to be in the mid-40s. So in 1900, the global average was about 31 years. And life expectancy grew by 5 years consistently almost every decade, resulting in a life expectancy of 67 years old in 2000. Now that's more than double in 100 years. Double. Most of that increase was due to the reduction in infant and child mortality that was caused or improved by sanitation, antibiotics, and vaccines. And so far in the 21st century, the global average has continued to grow to now 73 years. I don't think that we as a society has taken a deep look at how much we have changed because of this rapid increase in life expectancy. There is one indicator that gets me pondering and thinking, and this is a significant increase in centenarians. In 1950, it was estimated that 2,300 centenarians lived in the United States. The 2000 census reported 50,000. So in 50 years, went from 2,300 to 50,000. And it was estimated in 2024, there were over 100,000, doubling in just 25 years. Now, the current estimate by the Pew Research Center is that the number of centenarians will rise to over 400,000 by 2050. So I believe we should be having a national discussion about how to provide quality lives for our beloved centenarians. And I also think that estimate for 2050 is low. There are so many new medical advances, cutting-edge technology that is right there on the immediate horizon, just 5 to 10 years off, which will continue to improve lives and increase longevity. So here's just a short list. CRISPR, which we learned about during COVID, is being used for gene editing to cure diseases like sickle cell anemia, already in human trials. And it's an awful disease. I've had clients with it. Now, the Mayo Clinic anticipates gene therapy or gene editing will soon be used to treat and/or cure other diseases like cancer, cystic fibrosis, heart disease, diabetes, hemophilia, and AIDS. Researchers are discovering the keys to trigger heart muscle cells to regenerate after a heart attack. Scientists are working with a bacteria that was found in extreme environments of Norway, which produces enzymes that reverse cellular aging. New technology exists for inserting a gel into the knees that will regrow the cartilage. No more knee replacements needed. And animal studies have already successfully regrown teeth. Okay, so the list goes on, and it's exciting about how much medical science is improving lives, saving lives, and extending the quality of life. All body systems and organs can be regrown, rejuvenated, and extended to keep humans living decades and maybe even centuries longer. In the science fiction Mars series, written by Kim Stanley Robinson, it's a set of 3 books. His characters create a longevity vaccine that has them living past 150 years old. Now, it was this detail in these novels that got me to thinking about how life and culture must change. The oldest generation in the series were the first inhabitants of Mars. They were the explorers, the colonists. They created all the framework of how to live and survive on Mars. 120 years later, they're still vibrant physically and mentally. And they're still contributors to science, because they were all scientists, and public service. They are the keepers of history. They know what worked and what didn't work. So there are several scenes in the book where the 150-year-olds are talking with different generations. For example, the 20-year-olds or the 70-year-olds. The generational gap is large, and Robinson does a great job of illustrating what he considers to be the complications. One example is that the older generation doesn't give up control. They stay in lead positions, not allowing for advancement in business, science, nor political office. So nobody can advance because they're right there. As one ages, their span of influence continues to increase over the decades. Robinson shows more division, more divisiveness, factions rising, and people fighting over power. Sadly, he doesn't illustrate a people living in beloved community. Okay, so let's play a little bit with the numbers. In roughly 50 years, I'll be 120 years old. Now, my children will be roughly 90 years old, and my grandchildren will be 50 years old. I'll have great-grandchildren that'll be in their 20s. Now, that's 4 generations alive, healthy in my family. Now, right now, I'm pretty sure that I won't be, right now, circumstances as they are, I won't be meeting any of my great-grandchildren. But with medical advances, even further, I could be a matriarch for another 70 years and meet my great-great-grandchildren. So that'd be 5 generations. Ooh, that's going to make for some big holiday gatherings. Now, our family structures have changed dramatically in the 20th century. I have details on my father's side of the family. In the 19th century, my male ancestors all outlived their wives because the women died during childbirth. They would remarry and have another 6 or 7 kids. Big families, lots of kids to help run the farm. Not all of them reaching adulthood. But in the 20th century, on both sides of my family, things have changed dramatically, with families now having 1 to maybe 3 kids. And there were several uncles that didn't have any children at all. It's clear to me that family size has been greatly impacted by the major improvements in maternal and children's health. So in the story this morning of Miss Rumphius, she doesn't have any children. It's a story about living a long life, different than the stereotypical life of 2 parents and 2 kids. This was pretty outrageous, written in 1982. but it represents a point of view to live a long life in a typical 20th century view. Work hard, go out and travel, leave something beautiful for others to enjoy. And I really do love the conversation that this book provokes with children. But now think a minute. If our life expectancy reaches 150, this 20th century view, I don't think is going to be enough, and I don't think it's going to fit, and we're going to need some dramatic alterations. First off, from where I'm sitting right now, I can't imagine working till I'm 120 or 130 years old, right? That means having a work history of over 100 years. I've already had 2 careers, both over 20 years each. Now, they're different careers, one working at Bell Labs as a computer scientist and the other as a chaplain and minister. Now, if my health issues were cured, like those nagging ones that we all have, I could go back to work and go back into the workforce, but labor laws and regulations would have to change drastically. Ageism is real, and that would be at least one thing that Robinson warns us about in his books. Now, Miss Rumphius reminds me of our 19th century Unitarian transcendentalist prophet Ralph Waldo Emerson. Now, he's attributed to this poem, What is Success? To laugh often and much, to win the respect of intelligent people and the affection of children, to earn the appreciation of honest critics and endure the betrayal of the false friends, to appreciate beauty, to find the best in others, to leave the world a little bit better, whether by a healthy child, a garden patch, or a redeemed social condition. To know that even one life has breathed easier because you have lived. This is to have succeeded. So Emerson calls us to make a practice of laughing every day. So what videos will you find that will make you laugh today, especially when you're all snowed in? Emerson and Cooney call us to make a practice of making the world just a little bit better, a little bit more beautiful. Now, I find, and Avi will agree as he walks away, do what you need to do. I find that singing makes life a little bit better. So what are you going to sing today? Emerson also calls us to make life easier for someone else. So who are you going to call today while you are snuggled in this snowstorm? And you're going to call them and you're going to let them know that you are thinking of them and that you care. So laugh, sing, call, or connect. Kim Stanley Robinson, an economist, I think they have it all wrong. They all suggest that we're going to work straight through for 100+ years. I don't think so. Nah. I think we're going to have cycles of school, work, sabbatical, school, work, sabbatical. Rest and renewal are needed to rekindle our excitement about intellectual and physical pursuits. So that's going to throw a topsy-turvy in our society. But I'm excited about this change in humanity. I know that I can enjoy more art, more history, more singing. I can read more. I already read 2 to 3 books a day. I mean, not a day, a week. 2 to 3 books a week. So, but anyway, I will read more. I will quilt more. I will learn new games, maybe new languages, maybe even pick up another musical instrument. I played the saxophone, which you probably don't know and haven't witnessed. Anyway, I'll find more varieties of sweet smelling plants that I can grow indoors. Don't you just love the scent of a flower? Oh, and I want to have them in my house, in my apartment, actually. And I'm going to have lots of friends of all ages. So I think this new future, it's exciting. So let's go for it. I'll meet you in 50 years or in 70 years.
I just retired. I don't want to have to go back to work. The offertory for the February shared plate recipient is the same as it was in January. It's the Reach Out Foundation, a safe and supporting environment for individuals with mental illness or addiction, disorder, and or homelessness. They are now a drop-off place for Code Blue participants. This program provides homeless people a place to be during the day, Monday through Friday. Donate today via the offering, or please visit UUFLB.org to see other ways to donate. Thank you. The offering has been received with love, and Avi, bad choice, I don't know. Anyway, now's in our time in our service. We recognize and lift up one another in love. Please come to the microphone and share your joy or sorrow. Please be brief. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Gil, if you didn't know. And I have a joy and a concern. And my joy was watching all those young kids going off to RE. It's just like such a blessing. It's a beautiful thing. My concern is the big snowstorm coming up, and tomorrow our son Scott is flying in from San Francisco. So I would ask each and every one of you to say a little prayer that he gets here safely. Right now. I can wait. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Nancy. I wasn't going to come up, but today's sermon made me come up because I'm currently babysitting Janet and Rich Kelly's dogs. Why, you ask? I know you want to know. Because they're on the Star Trek cruise. And when that was mentioned today, I was like, how they would love to hear these stories right now, that as they're sitting on their cruise, dressing up like their favorite whatever character, and it is kind of a funny thing to think that they were doing that, and we're talking about Star Trek. So, and also they're in shorts and short sleeve shirts, so yeah, my heart goes out to them.
Hi, my name's Alyssa. Mine's more of a request. Jamie and I are going on a very short vacation, so we won't be here next Sunday. His parents are also flying in, but on Tuesday, so. But we're going to ask them to bring the kids on Sunday, so if you don't mind giving them a nice welcome, and so thank you. Oh, their names are Sally and David.
Hi, it's Melanie, and I'm sure this is okay because I feel so comfortable with the congregation. I'm just acknowledging my uncle I never met. He was 19 when he died in World War II, and it was 81 years yesterday. His name's Clarence, and I brought my teddy bear because that's what happens when people die in war. I don't understand why war is still something. I know it's complicated. And he also would be 100 years old this year. I know, but anyway, I'm taking Clarence with me.
And he'd still have to be working. No. All right. Well, whether or not you shared today, for your joys, we in this community join you in that celebration. For the sorrows or concerns, may we feel your sympathy. We feel your sympathy and compassion for the snow that's coming. We're just going to blame Avi. It'll just be it. But now
Music is very powerful.
It is. It's amazing that you can change the weather with it. But speaking of music, Avi, again, our award-winning, fantastic musician who makes it a joy to come here every Sunday, thank you, is going to lead us in Blessed Spirit of My Life.
Please join in with me in singing. Blessed Spirit of my life, give me strength through stress and strife. Help me live with dignity. Let me know serenity. Fill me with a vision. Clear my mind of fear and confusion. When my thoughts flow restlessly, let peace find a home in me.
All right, please join me in a responsive reading. We gather to honor the journey of life and the wisdom that comes with the passing years. As our bodies change, we acknowledge the realities of aging, yet we do not lose hope. To the young, we say, honor your elders and learn from their experience. Let us celebrate the beauty of life well lived and the dignity of aging with grace. Now for our closing song, please rise in body or spirit, and for hymn number 311, which is a fun one, Let It Be a Dance.
For however long our existence is, for whatever weather we may face, for all our joys and all our sorrows, through it all, let it be a dance. So let's sing together hymn number 311 to close out our service today. Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you, through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance, let a dancing song be heard. Let a dancing song be heard. Play the music, say the words, and fill the sky with sailing birds. Let it be a dance, let it be a dance, let it be a dance. Learn to follow, learn to lead. Feel the rhythm, feel the need to reap the harvest, plant the seed. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance. Everybody turn. Everybody turn and spin. Let your body learn to bend. And like a willow with the wind. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. A child is born, the old will die. A time for joy, a time to cry. Take it as it passes by. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance. Morning star comes out at night. Without the dark there is no light. If nothing's wrong then nothing's right. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let the sunshine, let it rain. Share the laughter, bear the pain. And round we go again. Let it be a dance. 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 Let it be a dance.
And extinguish the chalice. We have blessed each other with word and song. We have embraced the greater truth of our resilience, one that is terrifying to systems that would keep us isolated, afraid, and angry. For when we come together, we remember who we are and whose we are. We are a living tradition of people who love fiercely, serve mightily, and journey humbly with the spirit of life. May we depart in peace. May we depart as beloveds held together in this spiritual community. Wherever we are, wherever we go, may resilience cascade with us until we're together again. And that's the Reverend Dr. Rebecca Savage. Our service is concluded. For those of you on Zoom, thank you for joining us today. We hope to see you and for you to see us again next week. In the meantime, I would like to express our gratitude for the Reverend Rosemarie Newberry for the message this morning and invite her to hang around after the service, before the snow, to greet those of us who'd like to share our individual thoughts and thanks. And before I'd like to invite everybody to join us in the cafeteria, I just want to read an announcement. So the Help Center that we've been going to on the first Saturday of the month is moving, and so they're requesting some help. So the Help Center is moving to a new place. They need as many people as possible to help them from 10 to 2 next Saturday, and we're going to meet at the Help Center. Anybody has any questions, they can contact me, Robin, Janet, Rich, though they're on a Star Trek cruise, so, but they can beam in. But anyway, now I'd like to invite everybody here to join us in the cafeteria for coffee, fellowship, and conversation. Go now in peace. Amen and blessed be. Thank you.